In 1968, Thousand Eyes Sensei, a manga by Shotaro Ishinomori, was serialized in the weekly magazine Teen Look. Its story centered on the mysterious Kaoru Shigusa, a new teacher with psychic abilities at the Shirohato Girls' School. Her powers allow her to read the minds of others and move objects without touching them. When asked why she knew everything, her answer was, "I have 1,000 eyes," which led to her being called the Thousand-Eyed Teacher. But in reality, Shigusa is traveling from school to school to gather psychics who can help fight against aliens plotting to invade Earth. This manga would be used as the foundation for a new TV series produced by Toei and TV Asahi in 1971, Suki Majou Sensei. The show's story centers on Hikaru Suki, a mysterious new teacher at Tosai Academy, an elementary school in Tokyo. As a school teacher, Hikaru uses unconventional methods to help her students with their daily academic and life challenges, which at times leads to trouble with the school's traditionally oriented staff. Unbeknownst to everyone though, Hikaru is a princess from Andromeda Nebula Alpha and is on Earth in a secret role as a peacekeeping observer, assessing Earthlings' behaviors and researching Earth culture. She believes kids are the planet's best hope and uses her role as a teacher to help guide them and, when necessary, her secret powers to help with any challenge too hard to overcome on their own. These secret powers, which are activated by lifting her moonlight ring and shouting "Moonlight Power," grant Hikaru many abilities and spells. These include being able to fix up a house that burned down, bringing a robot to life, the ability to fly or run at high speeds, and shrinking a car down in size. Hikaru is aided in her mission by Paru, an elder from Andromeda. While at first he disapproves of her approach with Earthlings, throughout the series he starts to understand it and eventually embraces it, which leads to him also supporting the Tosai Academy students. Suki Majou Sensei can be broken up into two different story arcs. The first one takes place between the first and 13 episodes and generally centers on Hikaru's efforts to help her students. These self-contained stories can range from relatable plots about helping a student living in a house that burned down to more fantasy-oriented situations like Hikaru having to fend off the space plant monster Pirazumon. The common thread running across this arc is that Hikaru is always looking out for the well-being of her students and the people around her. Whether it's teaching them a life lesson or helping them overcome a challenging situation, she's there to see them through it with the help of her moonlight magic. And while these first 13 episodes tend to feature relatable stories grounded on the everyday struggles of her students, there are elements sprinkled throughout some of these episodes that more closely mimic Kamen Rider's hero fighting versus monsters framework. For example, episode 3 features a heroic entrance by Hikaru, who wants to protect one of her students from the plant monster Pirazumon. The ensuing fight takes cues from Kamen Rider's presentation style and special effects. This can also be seen in episode 4 when she fights an ethereal version of Socrates in one of her students' dreams. These and other stories throughout the first arc would pave the way for a pivot in the series' direction, starting with episode 14, Andromask Appears. In it, Hikaru is promoted to being an A-class observer and given a special compact, which she can use to transform into the heroic Andromask. With this power-up, she is able to take on new threats like the dictionary monster and her new arch-enemy, the vampire demon Kumondes, who arrives in episode 18 to take her life and threatens to take the blood of her students as food. The rest of the series would focus on the battle between Andromask and vampire demon Kumondes, who uses his powers to change into various forms that he uses to lure Hikaru's students into his traps. In episode 26, Andromask finally defeats him with her cape boomerang, bringing the story to a close. Suki Majou Sensei was the result of a request by Asahi Broadcasting for a drama series with science fiction elements that mimic those of early magical girl anime programs targeted at young children. But the popularity of Kamen Rider ended up shifting the show's direction from a lighthearted special effects comedy to a more action-oriented story that capitalized on the momentum of Toei's new flagship hero program. In 1971, Kamen Rider's success and growing influence in Japan's pop culture scene sparked a transforming hero TV show boom that led to the production of dozens of TV series through the mid-1970s. Baron 1 and Henshin Ninja Arashi are generally considered the first in the wave of programs that follow Kamen Rider's template in April of 1972, but Suki Majou Sensei and Andromask actually precedes them and even played a small role in the development of Baron 1. Series director Katsuhiko Taguchi had started planning for a third Suki Majou Sensei Corps that would pit Andromask against a new Underground Empire villain and introduce a support group for Hikaru, the Andro detective team, which would be composed of her students. While the series was not extended beyond episode 26, the concepts for this villain would be repurposed during the pre-production phase of Baron 1, where they played into the development of Doruge and the Agents of Evil. While Majou Sensei's broadcast run was a short one, the show's influence would be felt for years to come. This includes playing a role influencing the 11th entry in Toei's Fushigi comedy series Bishoujo Kamen Potrin, which features one of the prototype designs for Andromask's costume. Like Majou Sensei, this 1990 production centers around a young hero with the ability to transform into a heroic form that allows her to fight against numerous strange adversaries. Potrin in turn would play a significant influence in manga artist Naoko Takeuchi's manga series Sailor Moon, which would go on to become a worldwide phenomenon. Majou Sensei was first released for home video through a VHS release, which would be followed by a 4-volume Laserdisc set between 1996 and 1997. A DVD home release would eventually be made available in 2008. The program's first 2 episodes would also be included as part of the Toei World Tokusatsu YouTube channel, where the first 2 episodes were made available for the first time outside of Japan. While Suki Majou Sensei is not one of the most celebrated or remembered programs from the henshin boom of the 1970s, the series provided a roadmap for future productions that would eventually influence one of the world's most recognized manga and anime series, Sailor Moon. The show also stands on its own thanks to its creative special effects, feel-good stories, and in the second half of its storyline, the battle between Andromask and vampire demon Kumondes. Plus, it provides an interesting view into the early stages of the 1970s transforming hero explosion and how the format would eventually transform to serve other characters and settings.